another Saturday live stream. What's up, you guys? Oh, hey, I just said my own catchphrase. Not intentionally, just came out that way. Hey, what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music. How are you all? I'm here by myself, so I'm opening up the feed. Hey, there it is. Cool. Harley Miller, thank you so much. Appreciate that super chat there. Oh boy, I might fall out of that little tripod. Greg Levinson, Jason Outlaw, Josh Norco. Hey, thanks guys. Le Wolf. Hey, Marty. Thank you. The Doppler effect. Sam and Samantha Sam and Samantha right next to each other. Life is a Highway, Dave First, Ryan Ralph, Ari, Eric Kofi, the Doppler effect. Thank you, Sam, Greg Levinson, Antonio Infante. Hello, Mr. Gibson. Beeman Gear, Frank Skradsky, Alex, Mark Freeman, Daniel Boza, Annie Aerosmith. Stairway to Heaven, I'm new. Read the sign! Stairway, denied. Oh yeah, so I have 5 licks that I wanted to show you guys, but also we've got, like every business is doing for years now, a Memorial Day sale. So you can see the pinned comment. And any course at martymusic.com will be 50% off when you use that promo code there. So check out that link. I appreciate you guys so much. It's a good opportunity to get 50% off any of the courses that I have. I'm almost finished with an Inspired by Clapton course. And so that little intro, if you didn't come in at the intro, that little intro was from one of the chapters, like a minor blues. But I did a video last week that was 5 licks you must know, and they're real easy licks, and so I think it's a good one to go over again because the video did well. I can kind of answer your questions about it. Eric Kofi, you've got all the courses. Thank you. Light Roast, you've been watching my videos for almost 20 years. That's amazing, and that's not an exaggeration because I've been doing the videos for 17 years, and a couple years before that I was making videos, just no one really watched them yet because it was in the very beginning. Joseph Stewart says, Marty does live since when? Ooh boy, Joseph Stewart, since when? Probably about starting 10 years ago, and I've always tried to keep them on the same day at the same time, so guess the algorithm's not working for me too well on that one, huh? So that's Saturdays at 1 o'clock Pacific time. Although I may be changing that over to martymusic.com. I talked about that last week. Why do I have to watch a 20-second ad and another one now? Funny Fungus. I'm not sure. Maybe because I have to put my kids through college. Something like that. How about that? Is that a fair trade? 20-second ad, and I get something to help me put my kids through college. Is that let me know in the comments if you think that's a fair deal. I think it's a fair deal because now I'm going to teach. Okay, so a blues in A minor. One of the licks that I really, really like and believe in that I taught for years. Oh, is that exciting? Knew that was going to happen. I could see that about to happen. I was trying to zoom in, and I'm here by myself, so hey, maybe that'll add some excitement. Let's see. Yeah, my phone got hurt. Okay, so one lick that I've taught over and over, and it can be a rock lick, it can be a blues lick. I like the key of A because it just keeps you kind of, Joseph, you get a shout out. It keeps you right in the middle of the guitar neck. Stephen Cowboy Angeloni. Marty Down. Mohammed Hayani 8621. Love you more. Aurora, can you please play Spillways by Ghost? I don't know it, but I'll check it out. Greg Levy with the super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Dedada, Emma Hills TV. You like the content in the channel. First time joining you live. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Okay, so one thing is just take the A minor pentatonic scale. That's one thing that you definitely want to practice. It's good for your technique. It's good for your overall skills at getting better at guitar. Dan Flegler, it's a tricky one. Gigi said hi. Ollie Ma, Dedada, Sean Sean White, thank you. Tony Pete, Light Roast, you were one of the people who definitely laid the foundation. Thank you. Okay. Dareal with the super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Chico Wop, teach a quick riff from the A minor pentatonic. That's what I'm about to do. So, a way to start building up vocabulary and building up a way to start doing solos is take the A minor pentatonic, Ali Mod, Ashtaro, Hideaway Blues. This is my signature 335, yes. So, one thing you can do is try and practice that in triplets. So instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you want to go triple, 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 triple. It definitely sounds more musical with the triplet rhythm. The other thing is you can go up and down that scale, but then start to learn basic little phrases, and you combine going up and down the scale with, and then sneak the phrases in. Next thing you know, you're soloing. So here's one that really helped me a lot break out of the just going up and down the scale. Chester Layton, thank you so much. Will says, Marty, you're the reason I play guitar. I was really stuck and found you a few years ago. Now I play in concerts at my school. Thanks, dude. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that's such an amazing thing to hear. So Funny Fungus is curious what a lick is. A lick is like a little phrase, like a little sentence, but with musical notes instead of saying a sentence with words. And it's a musical way to say a sentence with notes. So check this one out. And then I'm going to play a little backing track for it. So basically, a riff can be a variation of that. A riff I think of more as like a famous like part of a song. Chris with the super chat. Thank you so much. Okay, so here's this lick. Licks and riffs can be related, but I do think of a riff as like, oh, play the riff to Iron Man, you know, or play the riff to Smoke on the Water as opposed to, can you play me a blues lick? But they can be similar, I suppose. Mark Freeman, 1 year of playing, daytime, Michelle, all blues guitar. A lick is just a one-off, riff repeats. Good answer. Good answer there. And Equal, Jam, Dodd, Patricia Crevier. Thank you so much. Okay, so watch this. 7, 5, 7 on the G string. Grab your guitar, do that with me. 7, 5, 7. 7, 5, 7. But then go up to the 5th fret B string. 7, 5, 7, 5 on the B. And here's why I like this lick, because you're going to take your index finger. Papa Smurf says, hey, what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Schwartz. I know what that's from. That's from a YouTube poop. Type in Marty Schwartz YouTube poop and you'll get a good little chuckle. Okay, so 7, 5, 7, 5 on the B string, but then 5 on the G like this. And when you first start learning the scale, you don't tend to go over onto the next fret right next to each other, like frefs. These are frefs. So you can hear it. It's got a cool sound to it. 7, 5, 7, 5 on the B, 5 on the G. And then we end it with 7 on the D. So I'm going to play a 12-bar blues rhythm. Don't leave. Stay with me. Stay with me, Mo and General THC and Papa Smurf, Furfs, Maple Slap, The Cuz TV. Thank you, Mapless Slap. Thank you, Veneer. Wish I had a guitar, but I'm too broke. That's okay. You can still learn by watching and through osmosis. And someday we'll make sure you get a guitar. Alex, Mook Rage, Michelle's All Blues Guitar. Own 40 guitars. Wow, 40 guitars. That's a lot of guitars. Okay, so I'm going to play this 12-bar blues. Then I'm going to play that lick I showed you. And watch what happens, because what's cool is the blues has 3 different changes in it. Or just a standard blues. It's got 12-bar blues has 3 chord movements. And you can play the same lick over all 3 chords. And the lick has a different sound over each of the chords. So it sounds like you're doing more than you are. Enrique Albert, Social Circles Productions, Philip Miles, Marshmallow Man. Big Brother, hello. Beginner, hi. Watch this. Ooh, I sped up along the way. It's pretty normal for me. Okay, so check this out. I'm going to play this lick I just showed you. Talktown, Daniel Asis, Social Circles Productions, Kubrick Lover 1972. I like Kubrick too, more as I've gotten older. Rocco Guitar Band. Love Rocco. Rocco jams with me at the Gibson Garage at my Back to Basics events. Elliot, what's up, bro? Just started playing guitar about a month ago. You've come to the right spot. Thanks for coming, Rocco. Philip Miles. Got 7 guitars. They all need help. Okay, so this lick. 7, 5, 7, 5 on the B, 5 on the G, back to 7 on the D. So I play that lick over the 3 chords of the 12-bar blues, and they sound good, Rye Guy. Michelle's All Blues. You're commenting a lot. Thank you. Mace to Bass. Hi. Thank you, guys. Okay, yeah, I'm doing a Gibson event at the Gibson Garage on the 4th, so hope some of you guys make it. Watch, here's the lick over the 12-bar blues. So it already went over 2 of the chords and it had a different sound. Watch. I'm going to do it again over the 5 chord. So the next thing is when you get a lick down really good, then you modify the lick. You know, I'm playing some different notes. You could repeat one of the notes. You could play it in a different spot in the rhythm. And so the more you get the lick down, red to PMT, Pixel Chip, D-Money or D-Money, Kexus, How to Improv. This is how you improv. I use a Boss Looper, Mace to Bass, Mark Freeman. Aaron Paulson! Aaron Paulson, quick shout out. You may know him. If you don't, check him out. He does a lot of I consider him more of a comedy kind of. Josh Norco, thanks for the super chat, man. Always appreciate you. Aaron Paulson, for a guy that does a lot of comedy and is known for comedy, he's an excellent drummer. And he's not just an excellent drummer, one-man band where he's playing drums and guitar at the same time with the baseball hat with the drumstick taped to it. No, just straight up as a drummer, he's really good. He jammed with my I put a band together last week for an event in Nashville, and Aaron Paulson came and jammed on 2 songs, and he was phenomenal. So big shout out, Landon, Felix. Okay, so when it comes to improvising, I got this lick. Right? And Aaron Paulson and I are going to get together again for sure. I'm old enough to be his dad, but it's all good. My whole band, I was old enough to be their dad. It's funny that it wasn't always like that, but now it is. It's great. It's an honor to still be doing this. Okay, so watch. I'm just going to take that same lick, but since I've been playing for 30 years, which is older than Aaron Paulson is, I'm going to show you that if I know the lick well enough, then I can make my own licks out of the lick. Here we go. Yeah, all the lonely people. It is. Yeah. Look at it, see? So I just made a lick out of the lick. So that's another thing. Here's the other thing I was talking about. Practicing the pentatonic scale in triplets. Triple, 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 triple. Luca Kapik, Dayon Blitz, Chris Anastasia got back into jamming with people. Awesome. Greg Levinson won a Roland electric drum set from Sweetwater. Dude, people win, actually? Congratulations, Greg Levinson. You definitely deserve it. I want one of those electric drum sets. I don't have one. Flying Scotsman, Zibar TV official. Appreciate all of you. Okay, so check this out. I have the lick. I have variations of the lick, but now I'm going to use the climbing, just the up and down of the scale to extend out that lick. So one thing, I can just start on my lowest note here and go into that lick I showed you. And then go back down. So then I'll add one other thing. Just repeating parts of the going up and down, like. Or going down. And the lick. Maple slap, that's what it is. The words are pretty small for my eyes here. Hello from Montana, Red 2 PMT, Dayon Blitz, Alias Valhalla, Lucky You, yes, Carl Peterson. Any suggestions to help get more precise picking to the right strings? Yeah, start with just 2 strings, like, and then expand. So here we go. I'm going to go up and down the scale. I'm going to play the lick and variations of the lick, and then also repeat just patterns of the going up and down. Those little elements right there should get me, maybe not an expert level solo, but I'm starting to solo with those ideas. Check it out. I showed you just one lick and concepts. Here's another lick. It's super easy. In the key of A, cover the 5th fret, B and high E. Diego Carcelade. Hola. ¿Qué tal, mi amigo? Philip Miles, the blues. It's a great way to start soloing. All those solos can be a rock solo. I'm playing it over the blues and it sounds like a blues solo, but if I play it over a rock progression, it now sounds more like a rock solo. Rocco Guitar Band. Hey, what's up, you guys? SRV owns the blues. This is true. Kubrick Lever, do you use a thick pick? I do use a pretty thick pick, but if you're a beginner, start with a lighter pick and then progress as you get more comfortable. But check out this pick. Big flex here, folks. Check it out. Is it focused? Oh, yeah. Not bad. Okay, so here's this other lick. The 5th fret of the B and high E. That's like from the... like a Chuck Berry thing. But you can... Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, GB Audio and Video. Yusuf Abdullah, your message was not going through. David, thank you. Philip Miles, Johnny Be Good, right. So it gets that. Brody W, you get a shout out. Okay, so check it out. I can just do that, but if I slide from a half step below into it, it gives it an even better vibe. Watch. So I went off a little bit. I'm in the key of A, someone said there. I used D'Addario NYXLs, Alex Holden II, yep. Joy Deep Mondal, D Monet, Michelle's All Blue Guitars. You guys keep commenting, I appreciate it. Isaac Jimenez, Los Lonely Boys, they're great. I could do more. A lot of crazy music, Space Jam. Oh, yes, I did an interview with Samantha Fish today. Check that out. Oh, and also, I might as well mention that I have a sale, Memorial Day sale going on at martymusic.com. You can see the pinned comment up there. And when you use the promo code at martymusic.com, you'll get 50% off any and all of my courses. And once again, someone was saying, why did they get an ad? And I said, because I have to put my kids through college. And that's a fact. I love doing what I do. I would play music no matter if I did it for my job or not. But it's something I love, and it's my job, and I've got to put my kids through college. So buying a course is not, any kind of donation. You're actually buying something that I'm proud of great value, that will help you with many different topics to get better at guitar, with tabs and transcriptions. You get it for life when you buy a course. You can stream it, you can download it for life, all the transcriptions. I've got so many different helpful courses, beginner and intermediate stuff. And so instead of saying, hey, give me money, I'm saying, hey, I have a product that's going to really, really help you get better at guitar quicker than just streaming around YouTube and stuff. And the bonus is that you get an immense value to get better at guitar, which everyone wants to get better at guitar. And I can help put food on the table and help put my kids through college. Kubrick Lover, you bought a bunch of my courses during one of my sales. Thank you so much. That's what we're talking about. We're giving and we're receiving. Okay. So I just did 2 licks. Let me do a third lick. A third lick is just repeating 3 notes of the pentatonic scale. But the one I like would be on the G string, 7 to 5. We already did it with Mr. Fu, M Fu. What pedals do I use? I'm using Boss Looper pedal and the Schwarzenegger overdrive pedal. But those are sold out. But if you got a Tube Screamer or a Blues Driver, Boss Blues Driver is a great pedal. Okay, so 7 to 5 on the G string. Canada's Dark Haunted History, Para Boit. Getting back into guitar. Well, you came to the right place. Try and watch some of my videos here at Marty Music on YouTube. And if you really want to get better, buy one of my courses, which is on sale right now for the Memorial Day sale in that pinned comment. Check that out as well. Nirvana guy. What's my favorite Nirvana riff? Well, it's tuned down, but... Because actually, if you changed the rhythm of that and made them full chords, major and minor, not power chords, it's actually so similar to like a Beatles style progression. And I just love that Nirvana sounds nothing like the Beatles, but when you start to like get into it, there's some really cool complex simplicity in the Nirvana stuff. And it was also just all done with ear. So I just love all those elements about it. I got to see Nirvana live back in the early 90s. And I'm so excited. I'm so happy I got to see them. Okay, so this 7, 5 on the G to 7 on the D. Very simple, great thing to practice. So that is another lick. So what I have here, I'm about to do it right now. Got the lick I showed you earlier, and you can watch this live stream back. It's always going to be up in the archive forever. So this lick. So that's the lick. The more you know the lick, the more you can then change the lick, adding a note, repeating part of it, playing it in reverse, whatever. Then we have going up and down the scale in triplets. Triple, 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 triple. Then we have this other lick. And that's a great looping lick, meaning you can play it over and over and over, and it sounds really powerful and really strong. Billy says, can you do Immigrant Song? Yes. Which is reverse. That's why it's so important to learn your favorite songs and riffs, because if you take Immigrant Song and you reverse it and change the rhythm up a little bit, you have Bulls on Parade. So we've got the lick going up and down in triplets, repeating parts of the up and down, this lick, and then a lick which is part of the descending, but watch what happens when I repeat that and then just hit the 5th fret high E to end it. Pretty sweet. So here are all those elements together. Here's the the newest lick. Alex Holden, the underdog went great. Thank you. Now that looping, repeating lick. So hopefully that all makes sense. Salmon Symphony. Been learning the tutorial of Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out. It'd be awesome to hear it, dude. Let's see. Let's see. Can't remember that part. Let's see. All right, there it was. Mickey Mouse plus House. It's crazy. I've been playing so long now, 30 years, over 30 years. Billy, how about Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms? I have to learn that one. Have you double layered your looper? Well, that's kind of a personal question, isn't it? No, I'm kidding. I have. You can do. You can layer as many tracks as you want on a looper. So like I could do a chord rhythm and a bass line with it. Slow Ride 723, uh, G33 Whiz, SpongeBob for the meme, Billy, Dear Mr. Fantasy. I love that one. So here's an example of Mark Freeman. What's up? Uh, it's never too late to start, Mark Freeman. I started when I was a senior in high school, so about 18 years old, and I only knew the open cowboy chords on an acoustic. Had no ambitions to become a musician or to become. Well, I just had a thing in my head that I wasn't one of those people born with natural musical ability or talent, and that's still debatable. But I just kept learning little, tiny little things, and it's a good life lesson too. It's just about taking one step up the stairs at a time, one little step. And so I just kept doing that over many years with good mentors, good instructions, and was able to keep getting better. Sananai, Philip Miles again. What's my favorite guitar solo? Uh, just because that's a question that's asked of me, I usually just go with Stevie Ray Vaughan's Little Wing, if you even consider that a solo. I mean, the whole song's kind of a solo, so that's why I use that as my answer. Um, let's see, Hunter Saraga, Greg Levinson. I'm so glad I teach guitar and get to do it and help people. Something that's been amazing for me in my life now of doing this 17 years is I'm meeting people in their early 20s now, like Aaron Paulson and so many other young musicians who are now entering into the world of being a professional or getting noticed, like Grace Bowers and all that. And they watch me as little kids, and so when they were little kids, I never would have met them. And now that they're becoming adults and they're out there doing it, I get to meet them now and hear that they use my videos to start. And it's a whole new kind of world and experience for me. So I'm very, very, don't take it lightly. It's super flattering, humbling. Um, Ozzy Farrow, Little Wing is a Jimi Hendrix song. But when I talk about guitar solos, Stevie Ray did just a guitar instrumental of it that's really famous. So that's what I'm referencing. I know it's a Hendrix song. Oh yeah, let me talk about the looper real quick. You can layer the loop. So watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with like a drum beat on the looper. Check it out. And I have that. So then I'm not in record mode yet, so it's just looping that rhythm. So I can come up with a little chord progression that I like, and then when I find one that I like, I can hit record and then record the chords over that. So let's see. Jive Talking by the Bee Gees. Axel Blues, what's up? Greg Levinson again, thank you. Ross Rayner, Jacqueline Siriecchio, Billy, Hunter Saraga, Fibonaccios. Do you have a chord book recommendation? Well, I have the Ultimate Guitar Guide at martymusic.com that's totally free, and it's all the essential chords without getting bogged down with 10,000 chords. I used to hate when I was learning guitar before the internet, and I'd go into a music store and I'd go, oh, I want a chord book, and be like, 20,000 chords that you must know. And when in reality, you really don't want to learn them that way. That's too many and too overwhelming. And 20,000 chords are really related to about 5 or 6 chords, and then there are evolutions and voicings and different things. So, Sugimoto, Konnichiwa, Garrett Sargent, 10 years on. Uh, how to make so many people have this problem. Have you been playing for years, but you never feel like you get anywhere or you're not improving? You need to set goals, because really if you get real with yourself, you know what you could be better at. And what we tend to do is we tend to go over the stuff that we're already good at and not challenge ourselves with stuff that we need to improve on. So you need to like get real with yourself and pick out some things that you could be better at, and then find a way to set the tiny achievable goals that are part of the bigger picture of that thing you need to get better at. Okay, so I have the thing. So that progression's now in C minor. So 8th fret E root. Watch what happens, because that's not a blues anymore. I'm going to take the exact same concept from earlier in this live stream. Landon Harrell, Mark Freeman, Kubrick Glover, 1972, Felix Extremesful, Amos, Ross Rayner, Humble, 3396, Isaac Jimenez, Hooked on You. I'll check it out. Alex Holden. This is not the Marty Music Looper, but I still have some of those. Okay, so watch. I'm going to take the same licks from earlier, but in C now. So. All the things that I did earlier in this live stream, I can now do over this new progression. And because it's not blues now, it doesn't sound like a blues solo as much, but the licks still work. Evan C. says, how often do you stream? Well, for the last 10 years, I've streamed almost every single, or I try to stream every single Saturday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. So that would be 3 o'clock Central time. And does that make it 4 o'clock Eastern time or 5 o'clock Eastern time? I don't know. Right now I'm in San Diego, so it's 1:45, 1:47 right now. Axel Blues, 4 Eastern. But what I'm probably gonna do to make it more quality over quantity, I'm still gonna do live streams, but I'll probably do a shorter, like 10-minute live stream, and then I'm gonna start doing my higher quality in horizontal, panoramic or whatever, through my community at martymusic.com. I'm going to keep mentioning it for a while. It's not happening yet. But that'll be tied in with a new option for martymusic.com. Speaking of which, you can get any of my courses for 50% off at martymusic.com, right in that pinned link. You got to use the promo code, and any course I have will be 50% off. When you purchase the course, you get it forever, for life, and you can stream it and download it forever. And it's got tabs, transcriptions, and there's a lot of different topics of courses. Let's see. More licks. I'm going to go back to A. Okay, grab your guitar, play the A minor pentatonic again. Play with me, jam with me. Here we go. Courses are different than YouTube because they're programs, multiple hours long, that follow a step-by-step curriculum with tablature. So after you get some of that stuff down with the minor pentatonic, you want to learn the extended scale, which is when you find that the root on the 5th fret E string, you've got this little thing you can use just your index and 3rd finger for this whole little run. And so that definitely be the next thing you want to do. And it's really a game changer, but I think you should get a few things down in just that, what I call the home row. That's an old typing term, by the way, dating myself, home row. It's when you line your fingers up on the little dots, on your keyboard that you can feel. That's the home row. Consider the minor pentatonic E root position the home row of the minor pentatonic. And but once you get that, you find the root. So that's 5th fret E, but you can play this 3rd finger there instead of index and play 3-5 on the E string. And then 3-5 on the A string. Philip Miles, Random Guy, Mike Flavor Pop, John Dougherty, Trevor Frost, Jara, Dale White, LAC, Josh Norco. Yes, I had typing class. So 3-5, and she was tough. 3-5, 3-5, slide to 7. But I can still type to this day correctly without looking at the keyboard because of that damn class in high school. Or maybe it was like 8th grade. 3-5, 3-5, slide to 7. And those slides are really musical. Now I'm in the home row, so 5-7 on the D, 5-7 on the G. Now we slide to 9. And then 8-10 on the B. And then 8-10 on the high E. Slide to 12. And now I've covered all this ground. Look at that. weird little spot is that B to G string. So if like 10 to 8 on the B string, use your third finger to 9th fret on the G. But one of the best things I discovered when I first learned that was when you get to the 10th fret high E, just for the key of A. This is only for the key of A, but when you get to the 10th fret high E, that's like that just classic rock star bend. My face is already making the guitar face, bendy face. I do a lot of dumb memes. Mostly on Instagram, and I did this dumb meme about how the guitar face looks the same as someone smelling a fart. And I used a famous guitar player's guitar face for it. If it was my face and someone did it, I would have thought it was funny. But I did that a little over a year ago, and this famous guitar player got really, 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 really angry and ripped me one. Ooh, rip one, that sounds like a fart reference. He tore me one. And I felt really bad and was very apologetic, but I didn't think it was particularly offensive to that person. But they did. So, lesson learned. I've pissed people off before, but I was never trying to. Anyway, I'm not going to say who the famous guitar player is. But I was really upset that I upset them because I thought it was innocent and funny. And it was not John Mayer, because I have no contact with John Mayer. Okay, so that big bend, 10th fret high E. He knows who he is. I'll do a lick, then you do a lick. You do it. Take it away, Asher Richard. Miguel Angel Cohen, where's the licks? DJ B, The Wiz, where is it? Milk flavor pop, farty shorts. See, I'm not offended. Hydelock, Ella Cotian, Melissa Castro. quick little blues. Now in the key of E, what's really cool is you can play that home row minor pentatonic with all the open strings involved, like O3, O2, 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 O3, O3. And add the blues note on the 3rd fret G string. And on the 1st fret A string. And then the extension, you don't do any weird finger changes. You slide from the 2nd fret G up to the 4th fret. And then 3-5 on the B, 3-5 on the high E, and then you can slide up to 7. And that'd be like in the... like that vibe. But this one is called Hideaway. I'm going to play the rhythm first with my looper. Like that one a lot. One more for the road. G, thank you so much, Kathy G, always being so supportive. Mark Freeman again, Crazy Music Space Jam, Brad Baggs. I saw someone, asking quite a bit about how I tune my guitar. Garrick Pridemore, nice to see you again. Kubrick Lover, thanks for all the comments today. Jacqueline Sierriecchio. Yes, what do I tune my guitar with? Check this out. You see the headstock right there? You see, only when you really look up close, you can see that little thing right there. But what's super cool about it, I'll actually turn it on. You can see that it's a tuner. And real small. And what I like about it is you can't, if I was playing a gig, you could never really tell that I had a tuner on it. And also what's great is if you have your guitar not plugged into anything, it's tuning off the vibration. So I can be backstage or at home with my guitar, always being able to tune it even if I'm just sitting on the couch or whatever. So that is a D'Addario micro tuner. Micro. One of the few times where micro is a good thing. So that is the D'Addario micro tuner. Yes. Okay, so one more real quick thing. Well, Milk Flavored Pop says, is that your favorite guitar? Well, when someone, plays guitar, they're, when they're played the guitar since they're a teenager with dreams of doing something more with music, for me, I never even imagined having my own signature guitar with the best guitar company and a deal with Gibson. So this is actually my own signature guitar. So I think if someone has their own signature guitar, it's probably a good idea to play it a lot. And so I play it out of pride for being able to do it. And my relationship with Gibson and Epiphone's their more affordable division. So I'm just very proud to have it. I love all my different guitars. I have a lot of guitars and I play them all quite a bit. But I'm most proud to have my own signature guitar. And when you got one, you should play it, So that's why I play it so much. No, you're fine. I promote it a bit, but I don't say it every single time that's what I'm playing. But also I have a American Gibson ES335 that's cherry like this. And there's a great video at my channel, Marty Music, where I take a tour of the Gibson factory where they make the guitar. And then at the end of the video, they give me the guitar as a gift. And so this is kind of an offshoot of that one. So I do have a Gibson ES335 in cherry that I love. I cherish that. That has a lot. That was the very beginning of my working relationship with Gibson. So it's very symbolic. It's very sentimental, important guitar to me. So I love that guitar as well. But I also have an old Martin acoustic guitar that was in a lot of my earlier videos. And that was my dad's guitar. And he passed that down to me. So that's another sentimental one as well. But, having your own signature guitar is pretty cool. And so, I play it a lot. Okay, one last call out. My website is martymusic.com. I have 40 different courses over there. And someone asked, well, what's the difference with your courses to YouTube? And there's a huge difference. I mean, the streaming qualities and sound quality is a little better than YouTube. But more than that is that the courses are a curriculum. It's like if you signed up for a college class or a after school guitar class on a topic, let's say beginner blues. Instead of watching a YouTube and scrolling around different YouTube with no particular order, I designed a 5-hour curriculum with written PDF that will take you step by step as if you're taking a course with me. And so it's a huge difference between that and just streaming around YouTube. And I taught for many, many years before I ever made a video or made a website or anything like that. So I have a lot of experience with working one-on-one with people, and I learned along that about 10 years. I got to learn like what worked with people. I also got to learn, or I got to understand that different people learn in different ways. So that was really helpful experience for me as well. Um, so I was a real guitar teacher, quote unquote, before video and internet exist. I've been teaching guitar longer than I've used the internet. So I had a lot of real world experience and real feedback with real students before I ever made a video. So a lot of the stuff I talk about is stuff that I learned teaching one on one. And then I also had a few different really great guitar teachers that I learned from and compartmentalized the concepts they taught me. Like my friend Chris Sherland, who was my main guitar teacher that showed me most of my fundamentals in college when I was a film major, because I didn't think I was good enough to pursue music. And I just loved playing and wanted to learn just to get better, not to do something with it. And I met Chris Sherland at my college, and he taught me, and he was such a good teacher that he really transformed my life, really. And I appreciate him for that, but also I'm happy that I was able to pass that back to, well, I did pay him for those lessons at a premium because they were part of the college tuition or whatever. But I will say I was able to pay it forward to him, Chris Sherland, when the pandemic hit. He hadn't taught guitar anymore for his career. He's a smart guy and worked in software. And when the pandemic hit, he lost his software job, like so many people lost work. And so he was ready to get back into guitar teaching. And because I had my platform, I was able to, basically help him start his own guitar lesson platform on YouTube and the internet, a website, his own whole thing. And it's been really successful for him. So I'm happy that I was able to do that. But don't stop watching me. Anyway, martymusic.com, Memorial Day sale. It's going to end after, Monday at midnight. You see it in the pinned comments up there. There's a promo code. So if you go to martymusic.com, look at the different courses I have, check out the course that's right for you. And during checkout, you put in that promo code, and the price will get cut in half to 50% off. And then you can get it for 50% off. And that will end at Monday at midnight. So be sure to get one of those courses while you can get it for 50% off. It'll help me put my daughter's ending her second year of college this week. So that tuition is not getting any cheaper. And I appreciate you guys, but I also think the courses are really helpful. So I don't mind being a salesman on it because I believe in them and I worked hard on them, and you get a great value. Cheaper than one private guitar lesson. You can get like a 7-hour course curriculum with written stuff. So got no problem plugging it. And I appreciate anyone who does buy it. And if you can't afford it, I still appreciate you for watching. Dallas the Nerd says, Marty has a daughter? I've got a daughter who's in her second year of college, and I have a son who is finishing his junior year of high school. So I have a 17-year-old son and a 20-year-old daughter. And so if I've been doing this for 17 years and my son is 17, that means I had a 3-year-old daughter and a newborn son when I started making videos. So nothing's more motivating than, having a 3-year-old and a newborn, and you're like going, why did I do music for a living? I regret all of this. I never regretted learning guitar or playing music, but I did have a point 17 years ago where I regretted doing it to support my family. So I was like kind of desperate, and the economy was crashing. So I started making YouTube videos to promote myself as a guitar teacher, to try and get more private students, because there wasn't like it wasn't obvious that people could make money through YouTube at that moment. It was just a video hosting platform. And so I thought, well, I gotta like get some more students right yesterday. And so I started making videos just to try and get more private students, and it did work because you used to have a message box, you used to have a mailbox and message system on YouTube. It was so long ago, before Google bought it. So you actually had an inbox, and I still have friends and music collaborators that I met through the initial inbox of YouTube, which obviously doesn't exist anymore. But but at first it was just basically like some people would message me, and if they were in the LA area or San Diego area or Southern California area, they could say, "Oh wow, I saw you mention or it said somewhere that you're in San Diego. I live in San Diego. Do you do private lessons?" And I'd say, "Yes, I do private lessons. You know, $60 or $70 or whatever." And so it really started as a way to market myself to get some students. And then maybe about 2 years in, 2.5 years in, I figured out how to like make start making a living not just with one-on-one private lessons. And so, there was older projects that I was involved with. Um, and at some point along that way, due to some extreme circumstances, I had to basically start from scratch in 2016. And it was late summer 2016, Marty Music launched. So almost exactly 9 years ago. Coming up, I think it's July 13th is when Marty Music went live. But I was working on it a few months before it went live, because I had to come back from scratch with no email lists, no followers from any past projects, no social media from the past. I mean, I did have the fact that people knew who I was, and they liked me as a guitar teacher. But that's all I had. No way to like get the message out. Absolutely nothing. I started completely with zero everything. Zero money. Actually, negative money. I was in debt for various reasons that were out of my power. Zero assets, zero email, zero channel, zero social media, zero, 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 negative in debt, 2016, launched Marty Music, very scared about the future of what, terrified that I would even be able to come back in 2016. It seemed like kind of the end of the world to me, and I'd been through a lot of traumatic events leading up to it that I've never talked about publicly. And so, yeah, I started completely from scratch, 2016, with nothing. And I just worked my butt off, and it did not blow up. Marty Music did not blow up overnight. I want to say it was it felt like forever. Like that first video got like 100 views, and I just kept at it. I've made a video. That's why I've made so many videos, because I was so driven to come back and keep that momentum, and it's 9 years now. So the fact that I've got 1 billion views just with Marty Music, I had over 1 billion views leading up to it, but 1 billion views, 4.56 million subscribers from starting over. It was the greatest thing that ever happened, but it was very painful and not easy to do it, and I wouldn't have chosen to do it. So sometimes things in life, some of the best things that ever happened, you would have never chosen to have to go through it. And I never had to give birth. But it's kind of like, I think, a decent analogy, because, we all, I love nothing more than my children, in this world. And I know my parents felt that way about me, but my mom had to go through a lot of pain to bring me into the world, And so no one would choose to go through that much pain, but once that part of it is over, you now have the greatest thing in the world. So I had to do painful things to start Marty Music that I wouldn't have chosen to go through. But now that I launched it and I'm still here 9 years later, it exceeded all of my expectations, and you guys made that possible. Um, so I'm just grateful, that it went down the way it did, and man, it wasn't easy. It was not easy, but I was able to sit here now, and I'm so grateful for it. I mean, one of the most amazing things is I get to do Marty Music's the only time where I've been able to like completely do it the way I wanted to do it. I fell into the world of YouTube because I was at the very beginning of YouTube, and so I had to make choices. I had no other choice but to pay for diapers and support a family. I had no choice, so I don't regret anything. But Marty Music's the only time where I got to take everything into my own hands, do it my own way, and you know and I own 100% of Marty Music. There's no investors, there's no partners, no one owns any piece of it. I don't have a boss. I don't have to report to anyone. Uh, so, so that is good stuff. And I've said this before, but when I do the live stream, I pick a topic. So today was my 5 favorite easy guitar licks for beginners. And I did more than 5. But anyway, 5 beginner licks. I focus for 30 minutes to make sure I fulfill the promise of the title. And then when those 30 minutes are up, I just wing it, see how it's feeling. If I'm not feeling good, I can end it right then. If I, if I see a cool comment, that can go off in another direction. And so that's what I do. That's what I did today. And this is the only time where I can just like talk as myself. With a YouTube video, you gotta like do that topic, teach that thing, make it quick. No. So live stream's an opportunity for me to just talk a bit, and I don't really care if people tune out or aren't interested, because this is like the only little forum I have for that. Lou D, watch back. I have a lot of blues stuff in this live stream. You just got to go back. I'm about to end it right now. Adrian Love, Curly247, Dave First, Alex Holden, Big Boy Driver. I'm not the same as Marty McFly. Jacqueline Siriaccio, Bob Gerald, Big Ben, Adventure, Alex Alston, Bob Gerald, thank you. Greg Levinson again, Felix, Brian Mahoney. I picked Red 335 based on Marty McFly, though, because my name is Marty, and I'm older than the movie Back to the Future. So I was about 10 years old when Back to the Future came out, and up to that point in Back to the Future, there was no like famous, iconic movie character, comic character, cartoon character. There was no like famous, iconic character with my name, and so I was already 10 years old when Back to the Future came out. The movie came out, and I just thought it was so cool that a big character in a big movie had the same name as me. And obviously, I didn't play guitar yet, and so that scene did have a big impact on me and so many other guitar players that are like Gen X age and younger too. So I definitely picked this guitar out as partially responsible because of Back to the Future. All right, yeah, so that's it. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you again soon. A little wing lick. I've got a nice tutorial on that. Brian Mahoney's uncle is Marty. That's great. Yeah, I never had like a good friend named Marty. I've never really had anyone in my life named Marty. I've always been the only Marty all around. Look in the pinned comment for the promo code. It's all caps, Memorial 2025, Memorial 2025, all caps. Put that in the checkout code, and you'll get 50% off. All right, guys. My ideas come from my brain. Ooh, my butt hurts. I sat a long time. Thanks. Want to see the magic? I'm in this tiny little office. And those are sound blankets to help it not be reverberated. All right, folks. You want to see the pedal board? Why not? Very simple. That is the Boss RC500 looper. Nothing wrong with just a one stomper looper, though. But that's the one I've been using. That's the Schwarzenegger overdrive. Those are the settings. And if you notice, it's in the Terminator font. Dun 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 dun. And then the I'll be back delay pedal, not on. I'm not using that right now, but that's for the YouTube videos and my courses, a Zoom recorder with the wireless lavalier. That's just for some room audio in case the lavalier battery dies or whatever. And then very simple SM57 on the Boss Katana. Got a little, the tuner's right there. Oh yeah, because I took it off to show it. Can never have enough capos. Oh, but if, while we're here, might as well, right? The gain a little bit less than halfway, volume a little bit less than halfway. That probably got there by accident, but I would usually go like that. The Katana is a digital amp, and it's an entry-level, more affordable amp, so I find that it's a little bright than what a tube amp would be. So sometimes I have the treble a little bit down. None of these are activated, but you can access effects through these two settings. These are all completely... I have a preset, but these are not activated. Then I have reverb up halfway. Presence. From Phil X, I learned he turns his presence all the way down. And once again, this is a bright amp. So turning the presence all the way down is helpful. And then you got a master volume. But I actually have, once I got those settings, just like on an old car radio, you can just hold that down, and now that becomes a preset. So if I went over here, that's a different preset. If I go back, it just goes back to all the settings. No matter where the knobs are, it'll actually go back to my just basic clean setting. And it's funny because I did SRV Lenny lesson, and people kept asking me what my settings were, and I don't change my settings really ever from this. And one of the differences that I did was I used a really nice custom shop Strat on the neck pickup, maybe turn the reverb up a hair. So I don't change the settings, and that's why it's always weird, because like I get a lot of questions like, what are the settings? You didn't say the settings. And it's like, I don't ever change them. You can get so much different tones out of how much gain you use on the overdrive pedal, what pickups you use, what guitar you use, that I just am always trying to keep a just basic clean setting on the amp. That's it. I never change it. And if I do change it, let's say I had like a Telecaster in the bridge pickup, I might just turn the treble down a little bit because it's a brighter guitar. And if I use a Les Paul or the 335, I might turn the bass down a hair or the treble up a hair. But I pretty much always have it. Oh, dude, Alex, you got a Schwarzenegger? I would actually buy any Schwarzeneggers for myself because I'm so used to it, and I probably have about 6 of them. So I just want to make sure that I never run out because I don't have any more new ones. Yes, this is the Dean the Butcher Gorin Brothers hat. Been wearing it for a few years now. Jowl says sell hats. You know, you're not the only one that's ever said that. Here's the problem with that. If I do a hat deal, let's say with this company, I'm going to have an affiliate link. I'm going to use up my bandwidth of customers that I have, ask them to buy the hat, and then get a tiny little percentage of it. Right? So if I say, hey, buy the hat, use promo code Marty Music 2025, Gorham Brothers, you get a 20% off the hat. In the whole scheme of things, I might make like $10. And I'm not like, obviously, I'm not driven by money, but we all are. I'm running a business. I talk about my kids in college again. You know, I've taught people for free when they couldn't afford a lesson. I've given guitars to charities and orphanages. So I'm not just doing it for the money, but I run a business. So, and my customers only have a finite amount that they can spend, right? We all have budgets. It seems like things are getting a little tighter right now with the budgets. So I could ask you to buy a Gorin Brothers hat, and it's like almost $200, and I get $10 of that. But now I've just had you spend your budget on a hat. When if I said buy my Inspired by Hendrix course at 50% off, it's going to cost like $48. And if I ask you to buy that instead of the $10 I get for a $200 hat, and I say, no, buy my Inspired by Hendrix course. One, nothing's shipped out to you. So there's no product that could be broken or have a hole in it or it doesn't fit. Then you got to send it back and then there's a refund and all that. You buy my Hendrix course for $48, you get it immediately. It costs nothing to ship it to you because you immediately get it through your internet. And I just made $48. So that's why I have not sold a hat. And in fact, that's also mainly why I don't sell pedals anymore. The pedals, since we're just here, we're going, people would ask me so much about in the beginning, like let's say 15 years ago, I use a looper pedal, and people say, "What's a pedal that you record with?" And it would be this comment, like multiple comments every day. It's more common knowledge now, a looper pedal. But 15 years ago, a lot of beginner students had no idea what a looper pedal was, and I wasn't looking down at my pedals, so you didn't know what it was, right? So I'd constantly get these questions. What's the thing that you record with? Is there a pedal that you record with? Over and over and over and over. So I'd write back. I use the Boss looper, Boss RC1 looper. Hey, thanks so much for the question. I use a Boss RC1 looper. Hey, oh, that's called a looper pedal. In fact, I use the Boss RC1 looper pedal. And so I was basically a unpaid sponsor of Boss with no resentment, but I was basically having to go out of my way and sell Boss loopers to people just to tell them what I was using, right? So one of my friends who works in the music merchandise business called me one day and he was like, "Hey, I was just talking to so and so at Boss, and you know how many loopers Boss is selling a month?" I was like, "No, how many?" And he said something like 10,000 loopers. And I don't remember if 10,000 is the right number, but I just remember it was way higher than I expected. And I am not saying I was personally responsible for those sales. I was responsible for some of those sales. And so I was like, oh my God, like I get asked, that's like the most common question I get. And I'm helping market for something that I have I'm not in touch with them at all. So I put some feelers out. How hard would it be to make my own looper? Oh, it's not that hard. The technology is real easy. Have ways to get the pedal made, pick my own design, color it, the whole thing. And then, so I made my own looper, and I'm like, it's like any other looper. There's nothing special about it. So what could I do to make it unique to me? I know what I can do. I can make a course that will come with the looper, a education course on how to use a looper, because they're a little tricky, especially if you're more of a beginner and you've never used one before, it takes some time and work. Alex Holden's got one of my signed loopers. Thank you, Alex. So I don't regret doing it. But so what I did was I made 500 loopers, personally signed, lined up 500 loopers on a table, went and signed each one. So Alex Holden's got one of those. Well, actually, I did 1,000, but the first run was a 500 run. I signed each one. Garrick Pridemore as well. Thank you. Appreciate that so much. That's a collector's item, not that people are, trying to collect it, but they're done, there's just no, there's 1,000 of those that exist. And I'm sure it's a little less than 1,000 because some of them broke, which was one of the learning curves. Some of them just break. So anyway, I signed them all, sold them immediately. They sold out. It was totally worth it. A bit of a headache with returns, people not receiving it, it getting lost in the mail, or it got broken, or they just something about it didn't work for them. There was a lot of issues. And I ended up spending a little bit of time every single day dealing with those issues. But then something happened. Boss got a hold of me. And so I developed a relationship with Boss, mostly promoting the Boss Katana. But then I developed this great relationship with Boss. And at the same time, the pandemic hit and you couldn't get the pedals anymore. They weren't you couldn't really get them anymore. So doing a deal with Boss and the pandemic made me say, I got to deal with Boss now. It's way better. I can just tell them to buy a Boss looper, but I'm working with them, so it's worth it. I don't get a commission on Boss loopers, but I have a working relationship with them. And so it was a great learning experience. But because the looper sold so well on the first run that I already had the pedal connections. So the next thing I did was, well, okay, I'm going to make an overdrive pedal. So then I had this company send me like, I want to say it was like over 50 silver plain wrap pedals that were all different types of overdrive pedals with different EQ settings and different EQ sweeps and based on like one's based on a tube screamer, one's based on a distortion pedal, so there was like 50 of them and they were just silver casings with like a little code on them, like, 1801B, 2XZ78, and I spent months. I would just grab 10 of them and just swap them out, dial them in, go, okay, out of these 10, let me go them again. Okay, no, this is the best of these 10. Okay, another group of 10. And I just kept going and going and going and going. And I finally whittled it down to the overdrive pedal I liked the most because it was the cleanest. It had the most clean volume boost. And it wasn't very distorted. The gain was like pretty mild, which I was driving loud tube amps with it at the time. And so I finally found one that I liked. And then I said, that's my overdrive pedal. And what's really cool about that is maybe some of you are even here right now. I did not name my pedal the Schwarzenegger pedal. I haven't been on Twitter for probably 8 years. 8 or 9 years I haven't been on Twitter. Twitter is just a cesspool of negativity, and it's not healthy for me. Anyone can do whatever they want, but for me, Twitter was unhealthy for my mental health. But at the time, I got on Twitter and I said, hey, everybody, I'm making an overdrive pedal. What would you want my overdrive pedal to be called? And Schwarzenegger won. So my audience on Twitter actually decided to call it the Schwarzenegger. And so I thought that was a really fun way to interact with my audience. And then I made a delay pedal next and did it again. And because the Schwarzenegger already existed, people said the I'll be back pedal. So that you know, that's how I named the I'll Be Back pedal. Someone just asked, is the looper course um, still available? Go to martymusic.com and there is a looper course there. And the best news about it is it's free. So I still am able to teach people how to use a looper, techniques that I've learned with a one stomp looper. You can go to martymusic.com and get that looper pedal totally for free. And it's even the looper may look different than whatever looper you have, but they all work. The one stomper with one button looper, they all work the same way. You hit it once, you're recording. You hit it twice, you're looping. While the loop is playing, you hit it again, you're recording again. Double tap, you hold down on the second tap, and it deletes it. Double tap would stop it, but if you double tap and hold, it deletes it. But then I show all of those techniques, but I also show how to create loops, how to practice soloing with it. I think it's a great course, and other people have made looper courses since then, but I definitely was the first one to do it. And being the first isn't that big of a deal. All right, that's it. Have a great holiday weekend, Memorial Day. MartyMusic.com, all caps Memorial 2025 for 50% off all my courses. Please buy a course. There's so many different kinds. There's beginner acoustic, beginner electric, inspired by Hendrix, inspired by Texas Blues SRV, inspired by Clapton is on the way. It's almost finished. Intermediate foundation, intermediate blues techniques, lead guitar for beginners, lead guitar intermediate techniques, beginner finger picking, the cage method, how to use the modes, blues, intermediate blues, beginner blues, blues you can use, like 40 courses. So get one. Get one this weekend while you can get it for 50% off. And a slide guitar one. The one, I don't promote that one as much because I'm not very good at slide, but the course is good because I basically don't pretend that I'm good. And I said in the slide course, all right, I've practiced slide every day for 1 year, and here's what I've learned that will help you. So I'm very honest in it. All right, well, gotta go. We'll see you guys soon.